So that 30 pounds is probably averaged out to about 25 pounds lost over a year. This is me a little over a year ago before I started doing intermittent fasting. In particular, I do OMAD, so 1 meal a day, and this is me sort of now. Throughout this video, I'm going to be putting up photos of my progress as well as my meals and that sort of thing. But I thought I'd just tell you what it's like having been on OMAD for 1 year and was I happy with the results. So as you can see between my before and after photos, I lost around 35 pounds. Most of this weight I lost in the first few months on intermittent fasting or OMAD. And I put that down to me being super motivated, really disciplined in terms of snacking, really disciplined in terms of what I ate during my eating windows. But overall, I was really satisfied with the amount of weight that I was able to lose by taking on intermittent fasting. Throughout the year though, that 30 pounds is probably averaged out to about 25 pounds lost over a year. So I'm still far lower than I was at my starting point, and I'm in a comfortable weight now where I don't really need to think about what I'm eating or doing additional exercise or having a cheat day or an off day. It doesn't really come into my thinking. I know that I can eat this way. I know that I can fast and maintain a weight that I'm comfortable with. Would I like to be a little lighter and a little leaner? Yes, absolutely. But what I've learned from doing intermittent fasting is it's actually a really effective tool to lose further weight. And I think that'll be my goal for the next 12 months, is to see how far can I take the weight loss and can I get really serious about it. What are some of the things I learned along the way? I learned about hunger and how you can control your hunger, and how it's really, a lot of it is really an emotional response. You think you should be eating and you think you are hungry, therefore you eat. There is some hormone responses going on in the background that triggers hunger and cravings, but generally it can be all down to your own psychology and your own mental strength. So I've found a few ways to avoid hunger when fasting, and that's the biggest thing the biggest challenge that fasters face is definitely hunger. So the things that I found were just keep busy, keep active, make sure you have meals planned in advance so that you're not thinking about your meal all day. It's a really big problem when you're thinking about food, when you're looking at food, when you're going grocery shopping and seeing food, when you're going out to places where the food's around. These are all things that trigger hunger. So plan ahead, make sure you understand what you're going to eat so you're not thinking about it all the time. If you're going out, make sure you're planning on what you're going to have as well so that it's not a surprise when you get there. The other thing I learned during fasting is you still need to be conscious of calories. There are a lot of people that do strict, like dirty OMAD, we call it, so they'll eat whatever they feel like in terms of fast food. And typically these people have lost weight, but in reality they're still achieving some level of caloric deficit. And the benefits is that because they're fasting in the periods that they're not eating, they should be coaching their body to burn their stored fat as well. I'm not saying dirty OMAD is a problem. The problem with the dirty OMAD is it's sometimes hard to control the ceiling on those calories. If you have a longer eating window, the temptation is to overeat. So you can still enjoy fast food and pizzas and those takeaways that you love doing dirty OMAD, but I still have learnt that you have to be conscious of calories. The biggest reason I think that I lost 35 pounds and then stayed around 20 to 35 pounds weight loss is because of those after meal snacks that just add sneaky calories in, just like in any other diet, that are going to stall your weight loss efforts and certainly affect your fasting. Those are things like sneaking some chocolate, sneaking some chips, sneaking some snacks. Now, I still fasted every day. Those were snacks that I was having after my main meal. I usually would have between a 4 and 6 hour eating window at my laziest. And having those additional snacks certainly produced the calories that I needed to maintain my weight. So you still have to be mindful of calories, even if you're doing fasting. So what am I going to do for the next 12 months? So in order to go from this to abs like Jesus, I'm going to be doing a little bit more strict fasting in terms of consistency. I fasted, as I said, over a year, over 365 days. But I did have some cheat days where I had shorter fasts. I think I've shared before, I had breakfast on maybe 10 days out of that 365 days. So I was quite good at sticking to a fasting regimen, but I'm going to be really focusing on what I eat during my eating window and make sure that my calories are quality calories coming from whole food sources and from protein. And that's how I started. I started focusing on whole food sources and high protein, and I had the most success. So that's what I'll keep doing. Hopefully you've enjoyed my channel and hopefully you've enjoyed seeing some of these before photos and after photos. I've really enjoyed sharing my experience with you guys. As I said, I started this channel the same time I started doing OMAD, and that's a really great way to motivate you if you're doing any kind of diet or self-improvement task, or if you just want to set a new habit. Keep a journal, keep a document what you're doing, keep a vlog, share it with other people. I hope you have some success on OMAD. If you haven't checked out my channel, I've got this beginner guide for OMAD that seems to be pretty popular. And over here, I've got how you would start doing OMAD in 2024 if your New Year's resolution is to lose weight and start intermittent fasting. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one.